So last week I called our suppliers, and I just couldn't believe it, because they told us that all the eggs that they had are gone. That the sales for eggs, the price is going up every day. The turkeys and the chickens are being destroyed. And so we had put a hold on, like, I don't remember, 24,000 eggs or some crazy thing like that. And they said, we are people of integrity. They were. They said they were. And they said, we have not sold your eggs. We have sold all the other eggs, but we have kept the orders, the pre-orders that because we do pre-orders and try to keep our supplies coming. And so right now, we have eggs for the next few days. I don't know how fast they'll go.
That's right.
But do you all know there's a shortage of eggs coming now? Do you know that the chickens are dying by the millions and being killed by? How many know that?
Now you do.
And Jim, it's airborne.
Well, you watch my show, but but it's not on the news that much.
No.
Do you tell it on your show?
Yes, but I have to search to find the information. The mainstream news will not report it.
They won't report half the stuff.
That's right. It's not. You don't have to worry about what the news about the way they slant the news. It's the news they never tell you.
That's right.
That's what you have to worry about. But you have spent years telling Christians to prepare, to stockpile food.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, the famine begins this year.
Oh my!
This year, Jim.
See, I tell people that. You tell that?
It's this year. The famine starts this year.
Yeah. You know, there was actually
Jesus says there's coming a time when there's no food to eat.
That's right.
Why don't we believe him?
Right.
How many believe Jesus? Just let me see.
I believe him.
That's about half of you. What did the other do? You're all sound asleep. Jesus told us what would be the signs of his returning and in the end of the world. Is that right?
That's right. Jim, how many years have you been telling people to stockpile food?
For the current, about 12 years, hasn't
About 12
it?
years?
I would say.
Okay. Now listen, in the book of Acts, the prophet Agabus went to the apostles and prophesied that a famine was coming. We read this in the book of Acts. The apostles judged it as a true word from the Lord. And the apostles acted on it and began to gather food for the saints. Now, I've read that for years. I always thought, well, okay, they got a word from the Lord. It's going to be a food shortage. You know, they acted on it, and the food shortage came, immediately, and, everything was okay. I did my historical research on it. That famine did not show up for 10 years. Now, the word of the Lord came 10 years prior to the famine. The Lord gave the church 10 years to get ready.
Wow.
The difference between then and now is that the apostles judged it as a word from the Lord and they acted on it. They had 10 years to stockpile food. We've got millions of Christians that aren't listening to this at all. They see you and they turn the channel. They hear me and they go on to something else.
Right.
They want a preacher who's telling them how to get rich, how to be blessed, how to get everything. And we're here telling them it's all going away.
Yes. Right.
The pastors are mocking anyone. I mean, I've seen it on there. I've seen them make fun. They don't name me by name, but they say, well, that guy that talks about storing food.
Right.
And what if the Bible's right? What if Jesus is right? What if Jesus is telling the truth when he said, there will be a time when there is no food to eat before he returns. There will be earthquakes in many places. All the things, they're all happening. The earth is shaking. And there's going to be a time when every earthquake fault is going to go off at the same time, from what I'm understanding.
Yes.
The whole world is going to shake. like a domino effect of it all going off at the same time.
Yes.
What are we going to do?
We're going to keep preaching the gospel. Those of
Right.
us who are committed to the end, the Lord will provide. But a lot of people are going to, a lot of the sleeping church, you know, there were 10 virgins, 5 were asleep, 5 were not prepared. That's where this is at right now, Jim. There's a
Yep,
whole bunch of
that's
people
right.
that are not ready for what's coming.
That's right.
If this egg thing keeps spreading, and they're talking about it going for another 18 months, but how do they know? I mean, if it kills chickens for 18 more months, I mean, 60% of the price has gone up
to
for the prepared
67%.
eggs.
Yes.
That's right.
For those,
Yes,
for,
prepared, 67%.
those are the ones that are like ours, really, because they put them in cake mixes and they put them in all these other things. And these kind of eggs are going out of the sky. Well, these will last a minimum of 10 years, and they're going to last longer than that because they've already proven that out. But these buckets, the price is going up to 110 from 100. So now it's 110. Probably in another 2 weeks, they'll probably be $150 a bucket.
Yeah.
And then they'll be so valuable that the Bible says, you know, that gold and silver is just going to be thrown in the street like garbage at some point.
And what happens when the federal government confiscates the
Yeah.
food processors?
Think about that.
The mechanism's
Now,
already
how
in
do you
place.
hear all this stuff? Man, you are talking an hour a day to the leaders that are behind the scenes, the prophets. You have the great men of God. You have great minds. And they're telling you that the markets are going to crash, that these things are coming.
Yes.
How do you sit there and not almost mentally explode when you got all this information and people are
difficult.
not listening?
It's difficult, Jim. And I'm at the point where I believe the Lord is transitioning our ministry, where he's saying, no more warnings.
Oh, no.
Just speak to the saints who have listened. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
Jim.
but I can't take that.
I know that. It's hard. It's hard. But he's telling
That's my
me.
call.
I know. But he's saying no more warnings.
No, my call is basically one of the main things, just to warn the saints to get ready.
Yes.
Because I'm preparing them for the great a revival, which won't be like a revival. It's not going to be a lot of dancing and shouting, but it's going to be millions, I believe, will come to God when all hell breaks loose. There's going to be people who say, well, God is right. Everything is in the Bible is true. And it's going to take that because America didn't repent after 9/11.
No. No. We went to war.
Did you see? You saw 9/11.
That's right.
God showed it to you. But did God give you any more information of why 9/11 was coming? Did he show you why it was coming or what man was supposed to do with 9/11? That's what, the rabbi, when he wrote his book, The Harbinger, I said, God, there's got to be a reason for 9/11. If you know anything about prophetic word, God doesn't play. He doesn't just say, we're going to go out in the swings because I want to give you a ride in a swing. He's saying the earth's going to shift or something. I mean, when he gives you a word, it's for a reason. What word was God giving you when you saw 9/11 ahead of
The
time?
same reason that he judged Israel, they forgot the God who made them great. That's our greatest sin. We have forgotten the God who made us great.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Jim, if you have children and you have blessed them and you've been kind to them, you've just given them everything, and then they become spoiled,
Yes.
and then they become arrogant, and
Right.
then they become outright rebellious, and then they
Yes.
become downright wicked.
Wow.
At what point as a father do you say, I'm taking everything away from you?
Yeah. You get to that point.
Okay, that's where we're at.
Boy.
That's where we're at.
Whoa.
He's just a loving father. He's going to do some serious correction to us as a nation.
Yeah.
He's been correcting us. We've had so many paddlings, and every time we get paddled, we just say, I'm still not going to behave. I'm still not going to listen.
My God.
We've become a rebellious brat to God.
Oh,
We've stiffened our neck and we've said, I dare you to punish me.
wow.
That's us right now. We got a Supreme Court that's about to do something that no nation has done in 6,000 years of humanity. And we think we're going to get away with it?
This is in America. Pushed a court-martial general for thanking God. He was speaking at a national day of prayer.
Yes.
We've always been allowed to participate. Presidents participated in national days of prayer. It says, despite the religious nature of the event, the Military Religious Freedom Foundation has called for Olson to be aggressively and very visibly brought to justice for his unforgivable crimes and transgressions. Adding that any other service members who helped him should be investigated and punished to the full extent of military law. Have you seen his message? It was like 30-minute long, 20, 30, something like that, I think it was.
That's right. It was 23 minutes long.
And it was just a beautiful, not overly religious, but just honoring God. And it was for the day of prayer. So why wouldn't it be on prayer? We have outlawed God. Our Supreme Court has outlawed God. You can't put up the Ten Commandments. Used to be, they were the basis of law, basis of the courts. Not anymore. What has happened to America?
Jim, I said on the program 15 years ago, at least 15 years ago, I said, there is a day coming. I said, this is going to be the scariest scene you can ever imagine. There is a day coming when our military will be a pagan atheist army. And you, Mr. and Mrs. Christian, will be the enemy. Do you think when the military has chased all the Christians out, all the God-fearing men, when they've chased them out, locked them up, whatever, do you think then when you have a Antichrist man in the White House, whether it's this one or a future one, and he tells a atheistic, God-hating military, these Christians are enemies of the state, do you think it would be hard for them to round us up? They'll be doing their patriotic duty.
They've already listed the Christians
Yes, that's right.
with the enemies.
That's right. This is how fast it's changing.
What would be wrong with every church putting food away, 20-year shelf life food? What would be wrong with that? What would be wrong with that?
It's called common sense.
Yeah,
Wise man sees trouble coming.
that's right.
Yes, he does.
Simpleton goes on his way.
That's right.
He doesn't prepare.
That's right.
But here's the thing. It doesn't make any difference how rich you are. You say, oh, I got millions in the bank. I got millions in savings. I got millions in stock market. I've got millions here. I've got money here. I got money there. Do you realize that when this crash, which these men are telling you and you believe could be coming this year, is that right?
I think there's a crash coming in this year. I think it will be the bond market. I think the bond market will collapse this year. A lot of people are going to think this is it. We just had the crash. No, I think the mega crash is next fall. But that space between these two crashes, it's going to be perilous. It is going to go by very quickly. And if you are able at that time to do any preparation, you should count yourself blessed. I think things are going to accelerate very quickly between these two crashes.